Very good evening, everyone. How is everyone feeling tonight? I hope that everyone had a splendid Raya. It's been a while since I went on screen. Well, betul lah, live streaming lah kan. And I hope everyone has been having a safe Raya celebration. Just to set the record straight, I've been looking at my timeline and everyone's going, lockdown ke tak lockdown ni? Kita tak ada news yang sah that it is a lockdown. I think a lot of people are getting their feathers in a ruffle and understandably so. It's just been very unpredictable times with the pandemic. And speaking of which, the pandemic has seen an acceleration of many companies, big or small, going digital. Digital transformation is key, of course, to keeping up to recent times of staying safe, having a cashless payment gateway, and also ensuring businesses, especially those brick and mortar, would be able to sustain and keep up with the demand of having online presence and reaching out to a bigger market. So we all know that, right? But most SMEs that I've interviewed for the past year, everyone's so worried, at least the first MCO 1.0, semua takut. They were so concerned about cybersecurity. Is it safe? Ke Def? How do I know if transactions went through? How do I protect my data? I remember some of them were saying how their customers would go, how do I know if this is okay ke tak? Takut nanti they will steal the financial info or they'll have access to all of it. And these are very, very valid and common concerns. So I totally understand their fears. Now, truth be told, guys, it's people, not computers, that create computer threats. There are computer predators out there who victimize others for their own gain, and basically anyone who uses a computer connected to the internet is susceptible to the threats that computer hackers and online predators pose. And that's why I'm so extremely excited to be talking to my two guests tonight. Yes, tonight we're going to have two guests to dig more about what cybersecurity is all about and how you can pursue a career in it. So I would like to welcome my two guests. We've got Joco Tan, who's a Cybersecurity Manager for EC-Council Global Services, as well as Mr. Fabian, who is the Director of EC-Council Global Services. Hello, gentlemen. How are you both feeling?
Good, thank you. Excited to be here.
When I found out that I was going to be interviewing the both of you, I told JobStreet Malaysia representative Angelica, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so gonna go. I love this topic because and you're gonna find out a little bit more in just a bit. But first thing first, now we're in like the third version of MCO. How was it during the first MCO? Was there a huge shift in cybersecurity? Did you notice a very big difference from then to now, or from when MCO, where there was no lockdown at all, to the first MCO, and where are we now? Gentlemen.
Sure, okay, so let me just start. I think when we were talking to our colleagues in the industry during that period in time, everyone from, from the IT managers to the IT directors, all of them were saying that, it's been really hectic. It's been a very busy time, and we are scrambling, trying to get things set up, and we have deadlines, and there's so many uncertainties that's happening in the environment, and of course, everyone is frantic. Everyone is trying to beat this, and everyone tries to maintain business, and so therefore, they are, and security is also something that they are trying to look at, but in the midst of trying to at least start something or to get connected, something has to give. And sometimes they don't think about security, and sometimes it's susceptible. So all these challenges is being faced by this group of people during that period in time. So, yeah.
People as in the business owners?
That's correct. That's right.
Okay.
Correct business owners themselves, yeah.
Joko?
Yes, and the pandemic has increased a lot of difficulties for organizations to secure their environment, mainly because of the MCO 1.0 to the version of 3.0 promotes the work from home, right? And this work from home culture is something essential for new norm, but also increase a lot of difficulty for security team, for IT infrastructure team to secure the user. And a lot of time user will push the responsibility of cybersecurity to the organizations, to the business owners, to the IT team, security team. And most of the time they forget about themselves.
They forget about themselves. Yeah, that's so true, right? And that is what EC-Council Global Services is all about. So you offer that services to a organization to ensure that their cybersecurity is secure lah, basically kan, in a nutshell.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So Joco, let's get straight to it because the first thing that I wanted to talk about was I found out that you're a certified hacker. There's such a thing. I didn't know that you can be a certified hacker. My kid actually got into trouble because she was caught hacking. So I'm really curious to see if her hacking skills can be put to good use, or maybe this can be her career, you know?
Yes, it could be. I was like your daughter,
Really?
your kids. I started learning hacking at the age of 13 to 14. During was primary, secondary school, high school that time, and my parents was especially my mother, exactly had the same concern as yours. She basically gone against it, right? And she was worried that I will get into trouble. She heard from her friends saying that your kid's learning hacking, and she saw the news. 12 years old kid was caught by hacking government and all, but slowly after she turned into support, and I would say that the educations and the parents play a very important role, right, of motivating their kids, and they can serve the public, they can serve the business, they can serve the organization, the world, to secure the world. This is how they can put their hacking skill into good use.
Yeah, because I was posting about our interview, promoting it over my social media, and someone actually said, "Oh, she can be a white hacker," and I'm like, "What is a white hacker? What is a white hacker? That means like a good hacker? Is it like an angel
good guy.
hacker?" Oh no, serious? I was right. Wow.
Yes.
There's a term for it.
Yes, so we always call doctor in white, right? So same goes to hackers. We have the white one, the black one, the gray one as well. And they all play different roles, important roles in the cybersecurity. The black one's the bad guys.
Which one is the black one? Black one lah. Black
The black
hackers
one,
are
the bad guys.
the bad. What can a black hacker do to me or to my organization?
Well, they can do a lot of things. They can do things that they like, right? They can do things that make them profits, money, financials, money, dollars and cents. They can create havocs in organizations. In the past, there are also cases where they drive people insane into deep depressions, and all of this is what the bad one can do. Of course, moving to the newer era, especially to the recent, the nation state sponsored attack.
Okay, so what can we do about computer hackers and these predators that we have online? Can we do anything about it, or? Oh, okay. No.
Where they lock your PC and demand for ransom, right? And this cyber attack, a lot of time, were the people factor who let the cybersecurity, cyber threats coming in, cyber attack come into their organizations, and the people play a lot of roles and very important role in it. So the most important thing we must always remember is that there's nothing free. There's nothing free. There is nothing free as well. There is no good stuff for free, basically. So this is what we always
That could
emphasize.
be like alarm bells already lah.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
okay, come, I can give you 500, but first, that's already
Yes.
like clear signs. But a lot of people still fall for that, right? Now, I know some of you may have questions for both Fabian as well as Joco, so please write them over our comment box and we will try and address it as we go along, okay? Now, Fabian, EC-Council Global Service is not just about protecting your company from hackers, but you offer many, many, many other cybersecurity solutions too. Perhaps you can elaborate a little bit more about this?
Sure. So, for your information, EC-Council, we are the world's largest technical certification body. And EC-Council Global Services, we are the consulting and advisory arm. And so we do a lot of advisory. We also do a lot of consulting. So besides, protecting them, we do a lot of services. For example, we do a security operations center. So this is one thing that is being looked upon by a lot of our financial service industry, because this is part of what Bank Negara wants them to do. You want a third party organization to help monitor their security posture from an external perspective, right? To see whether are they secure, to ensure that people are trying to come in, and we will alert them from that perspective. So this is just one of them. The other one is from an advisory perspective, more on the governance, the security, risk, and compliance perspective. So we will work with them on understanding, the maturity of the organization from a cybersecurity perspective. Where are they right now? And we also talk about, ISO 27001. We also do consultation on that, and also we help organizations to get certified from an information security management service perspective.
What are some of the challenges you face when you're hired as an advisor or a consultant as a third party to, what are some of the challenges that you face when dealing with your clients, or, because mau tak mau, they have to get your approval, the certificate for them to jalankan their business, especially if they're a big organization, right?
Right.
Yeah, what are some of the challenges that you face?
I think, in general, across the board, with all the cybersecurity heads or the chief information security officers that we talk to, right? They have been, it used to be this mentality that, cybersecurity or information security is only consuming, a lot of money from the organization. It's like, I don't really see I don't see a benefit.
Why?
I only spend money, but I don't see anything. Nobody is going to hack me. I don't see it, right? And not until recently, when you see a lot of data breaches happening and all, then only they decided, I lost a lot of data. Then I will start to beef up. The recent news about airlines data has been leaked somewhere in March, right? So these things happen, and and that involves a lot of money. And so, security has to be thought about even before things started, regardless whether it's physical, whether it's running, deploying an application, or even starting from home. It all has to start with security in mind.
Having said that, you said something about even if it's business starting from home, or it's a smaller, what do you call that? A smaller outfit. Would you still recommend them to seek, professional help, advice from people like yourselves, even if they're like a smaller, small SMEs or so? And do you have?
Yeah, the answer is yes. If we are actually currently working closely with SME Corp as well, and in some of the programs to help to empower the SMEs, right, regardless of whether they are small, medium, and or large. Unfortunately, when we talk about the mentality, we talk about investing in cybersecurity for SMEs, it's going to be a bit challenging because it's all about I protecting it, but I don't see my returns at this point in time. So, for example, in COVID situation, what is more important? Getting my business started first, then securing it later. Or else I don't have money to support these investments I'm making. Yeah.
And how do you tackle that mindset, or how do you tell them, like, no, at the end of the day, you're building this business. only for it all to be ruined just because you were trying to save $1 or $2, or I don't know how much you guys are you're charging, but just because of that, and then everything koyak, data all gone. How would you then approach folks like these in changing their mindset?
Yeah, so it's all about all about education. I would say it's all about education. We start we that's what we do as well. So we need to educate the community. That's where we reach out to SME Corp. That's where we want to empower all these new startups, right, about the importance of cybersecurity, and also that's where we are also with reaching out to the universities, reaching out to the colleges and schools as well. So we also recently did a free a session with schools, right, to talk about the importance of cybersecurity. So so that's very important.
Just out of curiosity, do you know how the government or the government-related companies they have all these grants or subsidiaries or just to help SMEs, especially in with the digital transformation? Is cybersecurity parked under that as help, or how is there?
Right. So they are. It's a big umbrella, right? So it's a big umbrella, and out of them, it's education is one of them. Awareness is part of them.
Okay.
And
That's
so
good.
they can actually use those grants to to receive trainings, and I've seen them as well coming from different.
Oh, that's good. At least the government recognize and acknowledge how important cybersecurity in a way with the educational part can be put into.
Especially with Industrial Revolution 4.0. Yes.
Good, that's great. All right, I've been reading this in your website, red versus blue. What's that? It's something to do with choosing a career in cybersecurity. What does the red and blue mean?
It's either you are a Manchester United fan or a Liverpool fan.
I thought both reds are. No,
No,
sorry, all the menu, I'm still like 90s already. Okay, yes, go on, yes. Red and blue.
So when we talk about red and blue, we talk about red being the attacking party and of course the blue is trying to defend. Of course, each individual red and blue team, they have their own the reason for protecting the organization. One is to test the system. So the red team is to go in and test to see is there any breaches that's happening on the organization. The blue team, they will be defending them, right? To see, they need to look at the environment, they need to look at, the systems, is it safe, is it patched, in order to protect themselves. So it's a check and balance. So we need both of these different groups.
So I'm just going to assume that Joco would be team red because he would be assuming the part of, okay, if I'm a hacker, what would I do?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, well, what do you do, Joco? Like, isn't that great that you're doing what you like?
Yes.
Hacking?
So this is some sort of my dream career. When I just started learning, and I got the opportunity of joining EC-Council, and their certified ethical hacker course was quite famous even since today. So what do the READ team do is that we help organizations to secure their environment by attacking it. It's as simple as why military, why the army, why the military forces around the world, they want to do practice, right? Why they want to shoot at the shooting range, right? It's exactly the same to organizations. Without the attackers to actually attack them, they will not know whether their defenses they have set up or the things they have implemented, their systems that they have set up is secure or not, and is there any loophole. But once we find the loophole, we will draft a report, we will put into very standardized format and to tell them, okay, this is how you patch it, and this is how we do it professionally. I'm sure in the past we can hear a lot from the news, right? A 22-year-old hacker was arrested by police because they found some bug online. They do it and they tell the police, and then they got arrested. But this is not the way it works in the world. We need to do it professionally.
So you basically get paid to try and find ways to trick people And then the other side have to go like, okay, Joco just got that done. Now how do we fight this back? That's basically it, right? Red and blue.
Yes, is some sort of it, but the only difference is my team had done a lot of things to trick the systems. We have done a lot of things. Of course, we do trick people, especially for some of the banks that actually hired us to do the physical attack as well for the cybersecurity portion. And yeah, we do that as well.
Wow, that sounds really. Well, they say never ask a lady their age, but I guess I can just ask you roughly, how old are you? And when did you know that, you were 13, 14 when you started learning the tricks? I'm curious because of my daughter. And then how did you find out about EC-Council having this fellowship or this program for you to get certified?
So I found the program, the certification program for CH years back because in terms of cybersecurity industry, EC-Council is one of the largest organizations who provide this kind of standards and certifications, right? Training for ethical hacker. So this is how I got to know, and maybe that's the arrangement of the fate. I guess I end up here.
Oh, so you actually
Yes.
did sort of, I know what I want, I'm gonna apply because this is gonna be like the best and the biggest and most reputable one, and here you are now working with them.
Yes. So a lot of kids, right, especially Form 5 SPM, they just graduated, right? Their parents or their elder siblings selects the university for them, selects the courses for them.
Yeah.
I went the other way around. I went firmly and told my parents, okay, this is cybersecurity, I'm going for cybersecurity. And yeah, they went and they went and support it.
You've just made this mama over here a little bit more relieved. Seriously, I'm really relieved to hear this because you found that skill, which might have gone the other way if your parents didn't know, your mom didn't, but here you are having a career out of it, and now I know a little bit more. So what other positions are open for likely applicants right now, and is there still applications like yourself? You went in, you didn't even go as an intern, you actually went there as to go and study first, right, to apply to get the certificate. Betul tak?
I went as a full-fledged grad, so I was graduated from Asia Pacific University,
Okay.
APU.
All right.
And I went into EC-Council together with some of the senior ones from APU. So now he became my boss. So his name is Dr. Mesam. So I'm not sure how many of you had heard him. So I went together with him into EC-Council, and we started quite a number of things here. But the most important thing in EC-Council is that when we train our red team, we make sure that they are well trained and well certified. In our program, we set a minimum requirement is that if they are not certified ethical hacker, they does not obtain a certification, we will not send them to face the client, or we will not send them to do any task or any job, and that's our minimum barrier.
Right. Okay. I've got one more question for you, but I think I'll save that in just a bit. Let me just see. Oh, I cannot really read it. Sorry. There's some questions coming in already. I asked earlier, so besides being a certified hacker, what other positions are open right now for applicants?
So let me answer that question. So I think from the from the position that we are offering, besides of course the red team, we also have the blue team. So don't forget the blue team. and there is a lot more positions that is in the blue team, and in our organization right now, we are also hiring a lot of what we call them the SOC analysts. The SOC analysts, the Security Operations Center, the people who are actually looking for this threats that's affecting the organizations, right? So we have SOC analyst 1, level 2, threat hunters, we call them, threat intelligent people, and threat intel person as well. And so yes, we are right now looking for these different groups of people as well. Of course, besides that, we also looking for cybersecurity people who have experiences in, like, for example, risk and governance as well. Yeah.
All right, Fabian, I've got more questions for you here from the public. If I want to enter this industry, what degree certification must I have, and do you offer internship roles?
Okay, so let me answer that. I will always answer from a consulting perspective. Answer is it depends. So it depends on what is the interest. What is your interest at this moment in time? Number one is, I know a friend who graduated doing zoology, not in Malaysia, but zoology, and ended up becoming a programmer. Why? Because of the interest. Similar to Joco as well, right? So the person may or may not have a IT degree, but is able to show forth that he or she is willing to take up certification programs. Like say, for example, if the person can go and take a certified ethical hacker on her own or his own, right? And also take on additional cybersecurity professional certs as well. And that for us is sufficient as an entrance to be considered for hiring, because that person have showed interest in it, or if that person already have an IT background. Sure, I think we also will definitely interview and qualify that person for our roles. And we do have a few of them who join us with IT background and also cybersecurity background.
How about internship? Ada kan?
Yes, ada. Yes. Definitely.
Okay, so there is internship roles, okay? All right, this is from Chang Xiaohui. I would like to ask, I'm becoming a penetration tester. What main certificates is needed, or do most companies sort for or look for, except for CEH? I'm sorry, I'm just reading it as it is.
We can Joco to answer this question.
Right, understand, right?
Okay,
so okay, so what a pen tester, we call it pen tester in short, right, is basically the red team, the ethical hackers. It means penetration tester, right? So what is the main certifications is needed? Other than CH, right, a lot of company also look for certifications that are from the industry, recognized like CRAS certifications from United Kingdom, offensive security from United States as well. Of course, other than CH, EC-Council also offer a wide range of products and certifications that are recognized by the industry. So some of the newer penetration testing certifications is CPEN, we call it, Certified Penetration Tester, right? And this kind of certification is what usually pen testers go for. But other than certifications, one thing that we must not forget is also skills to hack itself, right? So this is something that we must not forget. And also skills to do documentations, to talk to clients, and perform consulting work as well is also something important.
This skill to become a hacker, you cannot teach, right? Or can?
Can be taught, but one person, whether he is willing to learn or not, is another thing, because it's going to be a tough one.
Some people, their otak just a little bit more. Okay. Wow. Dana Kath asks, is WhatsApp being hacked? You know, we've been getting, I think it was a couple of months ago, where people were saying, I'm going to leave WhatsApp, I'm going to go on Signal, because there was this like rumor, or I don't know if it's a rumor, is WhatsApp being hacked? I don't know if you can answer that actually. But yeah, maybe you could actually, since you guys
So what happened previously between WhatsApps and other platforms like Telegrams and Signals is that the WhatsApp years back has been bought over by Facebook, right? And recently Facebook is going to basically implement its privacy policy. And some people believe that such privacy policy does violate their own personal privacy, and therefore a lot of them decided not to use WhatsApp. So, but whether is WhatsApp being hacked or not, this one is very subjective. Again, it's from the people and the technology perspective to be looked at.
I see. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Dana Kath. Wahida asks, from your point of view, what are the basic knowledge required to become a white hacker? I think you sort of mentioned it, but just in case you missed out anything else, Wahida says, what is the basic knowledge required to become a white hacker?
To become a white hacker, right? You must of course have IT background, That's the most modern thing. Whether you have degree in IT or not, or you must have some sort of IT knowledge, in some sense, right? And then after that, you must learn how to hack. So if you're not confident enough to go for professional certification yet and trainings, you can start from watching YouTube. I remember I started my my journey from YouTube and Google. So you have to learn how to Google. So once I remember one of my favorite lecturer who taught me ethical hacking, right? He used to say this: the best hacker not only know how to hack, but he must know how to Google at the best.
Phew.
So Google is your best friend.
I that one I have to agree lah. I have to agree on that one. Okay.
So,
Lama log out. There was another question, but it went on my husband's phone. Hold on, I'm just gonna try and unlock the screen. Wah, banyak orang nak tanya ni. Very, very popular topic. Shirley asks, which are the main key bodies locally and globally that focuses on cybersecurity? What are the technical certifications that EC is providing?
Key bodies.
Yeah, key bodies locally and globally
bodies.
that focuses on cybersecurity, and what is the technical certifications that EC is providing? This is from Shirley. Thank you, Shirley, for your questions.
So I guess we can break these questions into 3 parts, Fabian.
Wow.
Right. So let's talk about the key bodies. So in Malaysia, there's major government organizations that's really focusing on cybersecurity. Predominantly, Cybersecurity Malaysia. Right. They look at the cybersecurity across our nation, and also of course we have our national cybersecurity, or we call it NACSA. Yeah. So they also look at it from a governmental perspective as well, and of course those other cybersecurity organizations will be something those like us who are also working to assist enterprises, right, to protect themselves, their organizations, and also of course you have also local organization or international organizations like EC-Council, IC Square, and SANS as well. They are also focusing on certification and so examinations as well. So these are just part of it. Cool.
Yeah. And also, other than these organizations, we also have other organizations and authorities who focus on standards and regulatory kind of things and compliance. So how it works is that from international point of perspective, we have ISO, right? The international standard organizations who had the standard like ISO 27001. What they do is that basically company who are certified with it, they need to comply, and it's purely dedicated for cybersecurity management of an organizations, where it will protect the data and the informations. And also, I must give Bank Negara credit as well.
Yeah.
They've been going after financial institutions. Initially, they were gone after insurance, takafus, and banks, and now they also gone after companies fintech company, right, who build solution for financial technologies. So they gone after them and they force them to comply to our national standards of cybersecurity. So that's where we're coming in as well as a third party, independent third party, to make sure that, hey, you comply to this, and Bank Negara as an auditor as well to go and see, okay, you comply with this. So this is where we're coming from. So the third part of the question is, what are the technical certification that EC-Council is providing? We have listed all of our certifications on our website, right? EC-Council.org. Some of the notable one, the recommended one, or the hot one is of course CHFI, and also recently there is also CPET, Certified Penetration Tester.
I'm sorry, I'm just tickled with that word. I keep on smiling, so don't think I'm rude. Okay, CPEN,
No.
okay.
Yeah, CPENT.
CPNT, okay.
Yeah. So this is something new. Of course, we offer blue as well, Fabian.
Yep.
Yes.
So things like Certified Network Defender is one of them. SOC or certified security analyst. That's for our SOC analysts as well. So these are at least two of them. Of course, we still need to learn a bit about ethical hacking, because through that we will also know what to do. And again, what Joco mentioned, incident handler, forensic investigation. These are all the blue, blue teams. I would say must have to be successful in.
All right. Now we've got some questions, more questions. Donna, Alicia, as well as Joanne, both of them have asked the same questions. How much do you get paid to become a hacker? Do you earn well as a white hacker?
It is, well, I would want to say that it really depends. All right, it really depends on an organization to organization.
Yes.
I would say that some people start as a fresh graduate, from maybe I know some people starting like from 2.5, and you go all the way to 30,000-40,000. It really depends on.
I think your experience at the end of the day.
Your skill and experience.
That's right. That's right. Experience, you yourself, at the end of the day, is the person itself, and if you yourself, you have the tenacity, you yourself have the right attitude, it will bring you much further.
Yes.
True, wise words.
The most valuable part of being an ethical hacker or penetration tester, right? Being an ethical hacker, white hat one, is your skill and your experience and your attitude. If you have all these three set right, don't worry, you'll get paid well. But if you don't, you just want to work as usual, you have just a very normal skill, or very bad attitude, right? Then you are going to get paid as according to our national standards.
Like in any other jobs also, like any other roles, right? If you are not rajin, then, or not, doesn't work smart in that sense, then what to do? Okay, Hafsan asks over YouTube, any recommendation for YouTube channels to learn from, Joco?
I have gone through a lot of YouTube channels, depending on whether you are a technical one or non-technical one. And there's a lot of YouTubers out there to talk about cybersecurity as well. But some of the one that I've gone through is Hack5, HAK5. Of course, EC-Council, we also have our own YouTube channel as well. And there's also a lot of security researchers also have their own YouTube channel. If you're more technical one, you can try IPSEC as well, IPPSEC. So he also teach a lot of technical hacking skill as well. But again, I don't get paid from them, so I don't want to go full advertisement for them. But there's a lot of YouTube.
Actually, you can just Google best hacking tips. It comes out. And then you eventually find that trend there. All right, someone asked, instead of having a good cybersecurity system in place to protect cyber attacks, what do you think about procuring a cybersecurity insurance for a company? Phew. Don't know. Fabian, Joco?
Yeah, sure. Let me try and answer. I think it's definitely it's not a JobStreet question. I guess it's more of a knowledge question. I think the person, it all depends on your risk appetite. Is losing $1,000 a high risk for you? Is losing $10,000? Are you willing to lose $100,000 or not? So it really depends on your risk appetite. And some organizations says that it's okay. If I'm just an entrepreneur, if I lose all my data, it's okay. I will rebuild it again, for example. So the risk is not. The risk is,
very low, that sense.
That's right. So therefore, if an organization thinks that I cannot afford to lose, my data for banks, for insurance companies, right? They have all our those subscribers, policy holders, account information and personal information, right? They may not want to, tolerate any risk of this, and so therefore, this organization would definitely go for cyber insurance because they need to protect.
And I've gone through some of the organizations, some of the training sessions or awareness sessions together with the C-suites of some of the banks. So the interesting part is that some of these banks has procured cyber insurance, and the question is that when they have cyber insurance, they are most likely not to be afraid of cybersecurity. They most of them, they tend to face it positively, right? And they will tend to face it in proper attitude. That's the interesting part as well.
How long are your courses or training for? Is it long? And is it mahal to enroll in your courses?
All right, so I guess we can break this into two parts: the one for student, right,
Okay.
and one for professional one.
All right.
So for student-wise, EC-Council has been working for with years with a lot of universities, different universities to offer student price, student affordable packages as well. And in fact, recently the government had also announced some of the plans to assist universities to train their fresh grad. So when their fresh graduate has graduated and it comes with industrial trainings background and industrial certifications, right? So I'm glad also EC-Council is involved in this program as well with some of the universities. And for professional wise, is again professionals, people they make earnings, right? Not like students. So yeah.
So
Fabian?
they got bigger budget lah, ni kuan lah.
Yes.
Okay. Dana Katz asks, how do we know we are being hacked? When we log into some official websites, there's some verification to do, such as clicking on required pictures. Yet some people say it is a scam. True or false? Thank you, Dina.
Okay. So let's look into this way, right? A lot of times, if you look at the banks, right, when you log in the banks or you log in some of the legit website, the proper website, right, it asks you to check whether am I a robot, or check
that one.
Pictures, is there any
light.
school bus, traffic light, what else? Cars, right,
Yes.
bikes. So all of these are measured to protect you from cyber attacks, right? Yes, because let's think of this way. If a human can log in a website, right? So it takes roughly 2 seconds to log in. I just type my email, I type my password. If I log into that website every day, then it just takes me about 2 to 5 seconds to log in. But as a hacker myself, I can write an automated script, automated software to help me log in. Imagine if I log in 1 million times per second, right? Theoretically speaking, I can guess your password because your password is only 8 characters, right? So if I know your username, which is email, and people tend to give everybody email, right? And then I can start guessing your password. So these are some of the things that to protect you from hacking and to stop me from logging in 1 million times. Because then every time I log in, I have to click the pictures. Then theoretically, it's impossible for me.
That is what it means when it says to ensure you're not a robot.
Yes.
So that is the Team Blue lah. What Team Blue will be doing, protecting us, defending.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So why should one apply for a job with EC-Council Global Services? What are some of the benefits or some of the perks being part of the family?
All right, so let me answer that first, and then maybe Joco and want to answer that later. So from EC-Council's perspective, we have always been giving opportunities for our staffs. For example, Joco is a good example, right? Starting from someone who is a fresh grad, right? And we invest in him. We send him for certification. We gave him the opportunity, and of course, he was able to he fared very successfully in his work. He was able to be a normal consultant to becoming a lead consultant, and now he is a manager from that perspective. So, and as they move along, we will continue to invest in them and for them to be successful. I think one thing that EC-Council does by giving people opportunities. I would also like to share a real life situation with one of my staff. She is a career comeback woman, and so she stopped work for many years to take care of the kids, and imagine, coming back to work after so many years, it's going to be a challenge, right? So we worked with MDEC, and we managed to hire her, and we were willing to train her. And now she's doing very well with us, and she's been here with us for almost a year, and we promoted her. And yes, I think I would say that we are a equal opportunity organization that gives people opportunities to grow.
Nice.
Yes. So for the red team side, the red sides, right? Although our selection criteria may be stricter than usual because we need people with the necessary knowledge and skills to do all of these tasks, but we also give opportunities to our staff and employees to grow as well. And in fact, for our division, we have invested a lot of amount of monies to improve their skills. We send them for certifications, and the company would pay for it. And these certifications sometimes it costs quite a huge amount as well. But we do send them for training and certifications and make sure that they are well equipped with the necessary skills and qualifications and credentials. And this is what we do.
That's some of the perks, and I hope that sort of answers F1TZ's comment over YouTube, because he or she asked, does EC-Council offer skill training if we apply for it? Now, we've got one more from Haris. Which certification is suitable for a complete beginner?
I would say you go for certified ethical hacker first, and there's two versions of certified ethical hacker: the practical one and the non-practical one, the paper one. So you go for the theory one, and you will learn a little bit. The first half of the book basically teach about the basics, and then it dive a little bit more into in-depth. It touch everywhere a little bit, and then when you go for the practical certifications, you will start to get to learn practical hacking, the beginner level of hackings, and you can develop your skill from there.
Chang Xiaohui asks, except for CTF competitions, what other competition would you suggest students to go for? Does these competitions give a good impression for your resume? Good question.
Yes, of course. Not only other competitions, even CTF competitions like CTF, especially if you are fresh grad, you have nothing to write on your CVs, right, other than your intern, your graduations, and your hobby, right? Competition is also a great credential for companies to select you, especially in cybersecurity. If you are able to win CTF, you enroll in CTF, you participate in a lot of events, we will know that you have this confidence on your skill, regardless of you want or you lose in the competitions. But we know you have the skill and the confidence to show your skill.
I think most important is
and the
interest.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't join a competition if you're not interested, right?
Right, that's right.
Yes, that's right.
Guys, I think you guys have had the most questions that I've had in these sessions similar to this. Okay, back to F1TZ. Besides red and blue or pen testing, are there other sections of cybersecurity in EC-Council, open? For example, threat analysis or data forensics?
All right. So let's talk about data forensics, and I think threat. Okay, so from when we categorize blue team, we're actually categorizing them from a protecting the organization. So, like for example, when we talk about threat hunting, right, we are looking at the status of an organization versus what we see coming from threat intelligence reports to say, okay, let's say for example they saw a particular a vulnerability, and so therefore they will then need to go back and double confirm that with the customers or their own company to validate whether they have this kind of weaknesses. That's part of threat intelligence. And when you talk about data from a data perspective, that's also the same, because when from a SOC perspective, a security operations center perspective, when we collect data or we collect logs coming in from all the servers, we actually run a system, we call them the SIEM solution. That it's a bit technical. So that it will actually, does this correlation, and it's able to sort of like trim down the billions or the millions of lines of code logs that you receive into probably one or two, to be able to say that, hey, I saw something weird coming from, let's say, North Korea, or coming from, Cuba, an IP that is impacting your organization. So yeah.
Yes. So on top of the technical ones, we also have the non-technical works, right? We do offer services for banks or other organizations to look at their process, their policy, company policy, their company strategy, right? In terms of implementing and managing cybersecurity perspectives, right? We also offer non-technical works as well. Okay. So work like auditor, consultants, advisors as well. We also hire for this role. And there's more towards paper side. If you don't mind to do quite a lot of paperwork, look at a lot of documents, that's what we do as well.
Okay, so there are openings of that liking too lah. If I have a CCNA certificate, can I apply with EC-Council? CCNA certificate. You guys will know best.
Yes, so CCNA is basically a networking certification provided by Cisco, one of the world famous network equipment provider. So CCNA is not easy as well, right? So if you have CCNA, you can apply for cybersecurity definitely. In fact, you can adopt into technical area very fast, right? Because you already have a strong fundamental background for information technology and information networks. And also CCNA certification, some portion of it does highlight cybersecurity, network security as a part of the course. So if you can learn the area, you know the area as well, you can adopt very fast in this industry.
Fabian, you want to add in?
Yes,
anything?
I just want to add that sometimes having CCNA is definitely a plus, because you're looking at it from a network perspective, and you take it one notch higher. You are talking about network security, right? And so that there is definitely a demand for people with CCNA and also network security capabilities. If you're a graduate, right? I mean, you get these CCNA certifications up, and you want to get into cybersecurity, probably do another course, another cybersecurity course, or probably get yourself involved in capturing the flag, for example. That should be able to show forth your interest in this particular area. That will help you to stand out amongst your peers as well.
So if anyone was interested in applying for a job at EC-Council, what do they have to do? Where do they go?
What they need to do is they just write an email to us. They'll just give you the email address. It's egs.recruitment@eccouncil.org. I'll just spell it out. egs.recruitment, RECRUITMENT @eccouncil.org.
Just in case you didn't get that, I will get it from them and I'll put it over my caption or my post. Or I think you can also check over JobStreet. I'm not sure if you've got your postings at JobStreet also in Malaysia. JobStreet.
Yes,
Malaysia.
we do time to time, or just go to our website at eccouncil.org. You will be able to.
Wow, gentlemen, we are 5 minutes into concluding our 1 hour session here. Just so many great questions from the public. Perhaps we can just conclude it by you guys giving us some tips, okay? Some us noobs like me. I don't have any. I'm like, my password is so easy. And my husband's like, you should change it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 is not going to be the safest. What are some of the tips to safeguard us from hackers or predators out there? And how can we cyber secure our homes and our offices, especially now that we don't know what's going to happen, but we're staying safe, working from home? Fabian.
Sure. I will answer. I mean, there's a lot, right? So what my department we provide awareness. So we provide awareness for all organizations and also in individuals. So I think some best practices is think before you click. I think that's the most important thing. Before you are so excited clicking a link, look at it, hover your mouse onto the link, and sometimes it will appear on the bottom, right? Where it is going. Whatever that's written on your email, for example, it could look legit, but when you look at the link, it may be something different.
Yes.
And that's the reason why you need to think before you click. And of course, number 2 is your passwords, right? Just make it. People say, 8 is enough, and so forth. No, I would say, the practice, general practice, or people in the US, they're saying that from NITS, they're saying that as long as possible. Now, the longer, better, and you can remember. You have to remember. So it could be, I just went to the park in Jalan Pasar, for example.
Okay.
That is as long as possible. Then if you can remember that,
I see.
you don't have to change it. Or you want to change it, you can just interchange with, numbers in between and replace certain things with certain numbers.
Yeah, you would recommend that, right? Putting like symbols as well as numbers.
That's right.
Capital and non-capital.
That's right. That's
small caps, yeah.
So I guess another tips that I would also like to give from hacker perspective, right, is that number 1, right, Klik Dengan Bijak. So I guess this campaign came from MCMC years back, but Klik Dengan Bijak. Always remember this. And also one thing always remember, there's nothing free, right? Especially when a lot of emails that comes in, right, and people, free Asia holiday package and all this. Are you sure it's from Asia or Air Alza? We don't know, right? And a lot of times, another tips that I also like to give is that always remember that not to disclose your password. Keep your password secure, right? And always remember, treat your password like your personal wear, right? You wouldn't want to wear the same clothes for the next 365 days without washing it, right? So your password is exactly like that. Always remember to change it frequently.
Oh my
also
goodness.
Yes. So also one last thing that I also want to say is always remember, right? Again, nothing is free. And if the banks call you and ask you for your password, if the banks call you, tell you to get OTP, think of it like this way, like in this way. If you forget your password and you can ask the bank to reset for you, why would the bank need to ask a password from you? If the bank know how much you save and you can bring your IC to the bank and say, I want to withdraw, or you bring your ATM card to the ATM, you can withdraw money, right? The bank already know your password. Why the bank ask for your password again, right? So this is some of the key things that we always need to remember.
Yang kesian kita punya mak-mak lah. My mother, I don't know how many times she pressed and said, Mom, stop sending, don't forward these type of things. It's, she's like, don't tekan, because I just got a message saying that my phone is whatever. Education, guys, education. Klik Dengan Bijak. Well, thank you so very much, Joco and Fabian. That was really insightful, this whole interview. And yes, if you would like to find out how you can apply for a career to be not just a hacker, but there are numerous other roles and job openings that is available at EC-Council Global. You can always head down over. I will get the actual link and I'll paste it in my comments. So, gentlemen, thank you so much. I know you both haven't had a proper meal. So, selamat berbuka. Berbuka pula. Tengoklah still in Ramadan mode, Ramadan mode. You can't be at home only, But yes, have a great dinner. And I would love to have another session with you guys, because I think this 1 hour wasn't enough.
Sure.
So we'll keep in touch, okay?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. So same goes to you and to all the Malays and the Muslim out there. Again, Selamat Hari Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya, yes. And remember, stay safe.
Yes, guys, stay safe. All right, guys, thank you so much. Bye, Fabian.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Joco.
Bye.
Woo! I really hope you guys had a very informative session with both Fabian as well as Joco. Again, I'm just going to reiterate, okay, especially my mother who's watching right now. think before you click. So click dengan bijak, okay? Passwords, make sure it's as long as possible. That's something for me. Nothing is free. So if they say like, okay, click now because then you get like 10,000 ringgit. But first, you have to put money in my bank account. Macam, hey, hello. You know, think. There's something a bit fishy there. Do not disclose your password to anyone. No matter how in love you are. Okay lah, different lah, my husband and I. But yes, very dangerous. Okay, so don't do that. And last but not least, if these organizations, say LHDN, banks, they're asking you for really personal information, tell them that you will get back to them and actually call. That's what I do, you know, because I sometimes get those really random weird questions. So, calls from these weird people. So do not ever disclose the OTPs. Alright guys, that's all for now. It's been a pleasure having Joco as well as Fabian. Again, do check them out at EC-Council Global Services, and also go to JobStreet to find out a little bit more about some of the openings that we have. Stay safe at home, guys. Until my next live stream, this is Daphne Iking. Just staying safe, alive, at home. Good night, guys.